As we continue Module 4, Listen and Learn, let's look now at how we can listen and learn during a mediation. Mediators play an important role as a neutral third party in mediation. They must set ground rules, explore parties' perspectives, summarize issues, set the agenda, help parties brainstorm, and finally, write the agreement. Let's look more closely at what your role might be if you function as the mediator in resolving a conflict. In Phase 1, you will need to explain your role as a neutral party, not a judge. You will also need to explain the mediation process. It is important to build trust, set a positive tone, obtain commitment to the process, and set ground rules like not interrupting and showing respect for others. Phase 2 involves exploration. Each party should have a chance to express their perceptions. The mediator's job is to ask non-judgmental questions to clarify interests and concerns in a non-evaluative way. In just a moment, we will take a closer look at how non-evaluative listening works. In addition, a mediator summarizes interests, paraphrases important issues, reframes adversarial or positional statements, and acknowledges feelings. Let's take a closer look at non-evaluative listening. Non-evaluative listening means you listen to understand, not to respond or evaluate. When you are listening to someone in a non-evaluative way, you do not offer any opinions or advice. You speak only to ask clarifying questions to help you better understand the listener's situation and feelings. You can find an article explaining more about this process in the course resource section. Look for the document labeled How to Listen When Someone is Venting. How about you? Is there someone around who might want to share about a conflict situation they are faced with right now? If so, pause the video and practice listening to that person in a non-evaluative way. If not, try this the next time someone begins complaining about a problem. You may find that listening in a non-evaluative way can help the person determine how to move forward. In the exploration phase of mediation, reframing is important. In fact, learning to reframe statements is a valuable skill that can help you in many areas of communication. Let's look at how this works. First, take out the unproductive. If someone states a strong position, makes a threat, or issues a demand, look for the underlying interest or concern and restate that person's words. You may start with a phrase like, "What's really important is," or "what you are concerned about is." You will also want to restate ambiguous concerns to define the problem. If someone says, "He doesn't know how to communicate," try to determine the source of the problem. Is it tone, or perhaps the language used? Or maybe it is an avoidance problem. You might say, "So, you would like to discuss how you can better inform each other of problems in advance to reduce errors." This is much more helpful than the original statement that he doesn't know how to communicate. Reframing demeaning statements is important as well. If someone says, "He is lazy and always depends on me to bail him out," you might reframe that statement as, "You would like to discuss professional standards you could agree upon that would balance the workload fairly and appropriately." Taking the time to understand the underlying interests of those making unproductive, ambiguous, or demeaning statements and stating those ideas in a better way can lead to much more productive conflict resolution. In Phase 3, agenda setting, you will want to do the following. Make a list everyone can see of important issues. Obtain agreement that all issues are included. Have parties agree on the order of importance. And note common interests. In Phase 4, begin problem solving. Clarify issues related to each item. Reframe if necessary. Brainstorm possible solutions, options for mutual gain related to each agenda item. And reality test or evaluate all ideas. The final phase is Phase 5, agreement. Have parties write down what has been agreed upon, read it to the parties for validation, identify implementation steps, obtain external approvals if necessary, and have the parties sign the agreement. By practicing these steps in mediation, you can listen and learn as you help others construct conflict effectively.